Everyone, and welcome to today's IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you live from rainy Budapest. All the plants and vegetation getting their fill of water. Hi, Mac. Hi, Tina. Hi, Pachu. Good to see so many students coming in right on time. All right, so we are focusing on IELTS listening section today with an example from our exams. You can find those on our websites for academic. Go to aehelp.com. And for general version of the exam, check us out at gieltshelp.com, where we have lots and lots of goodies for you. And when you join today, you can use the code LIVE20, L-I-V-E 20, to get a 20% discount off of our premium courses. Hi, Gulzoda. Hi, everyone. Hi, members who are joining in. All right. If you have questions about the exam or about our products, don't be shy. Send me an email. My email is adrian@aehelp.com, adrian@aehelp.com. You can also get our original exam books from Amazon. Search for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS. Classes are usually Wednesday to Saturday, running from 3 to 4 o'clock Central European Time. Today it's listening strategy. Also, we have members chat classes just before for our members. You can become a member by clicking the join button beside the subscribe button. Okay, everyone. So without further ado, let's get right into some listening. So for the listening, we are focusing on our exam number 6. So this is test number 6. We are focusing on listening section 1. I will start the audio in just a moment. Viewers, students, please have a pencil, paper ready, okay? Or you can have a document on your phone or tablet or PC ready. Please, please, please do not write your answers into the chat. Give everybody a fair chance to answer on their own, and also don't confuse other students with possibly wrong answers. At the end of the section, we will go through this together. Now, for the audio, I'm going to play it through my headset microphone and a Bose speaker. They're both high quality, but if it's quiet for you, just turn up the volume or try to use a headset if you have one available. All right, so for this purpose, I'm going to hop over to our academic IELTS website. Again, you can join by clicking that red button, and you can use the coupon here in the checkout form. So you can click that blue button and then type in LIVE20 to get that 20% discount, so live 20. After you join our premium course, you have a My Student account. And in your My Student account, you get a tour of all of the goodies that you have. And then, of course, you have interactive tests and so on. And right now, we're going to the IELTS audio CDs. So in this part, we are going to go to CD 6, track 1, because it is test 6, track 1. So everybody's ready with your pencil, paper, document, ready to listen and answer. Again, please don't put the answers into the chat. Wait till the end. We'll go through them together. Here we go.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings, and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Listening Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a man and a woman concerning the requirements of running for municipal office. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good morning. You've reached the Information Office for Municipal Affairs. This is Florence speaking.
Good morning, Florence. My name is Walter, and I'd like some information on running for municipal office in the upcoming election.
You're in the right place. The first piece of information I'll need from you is the specific office you'd like to run for.
Town councillor, I'd imagine.
The man says he would like to run for town councillor, so this has been indicated for you. Now we begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning. You've reached the Information Office for Municipal Affairs. This is Florence speaking.
Good morning, Florence. My name is Walter, and I'd like some information on running for municipal office in the upcoming election.
You're in the right place. The first piece of information I'll need from you is the specific office you'd like to run for.
Town councillor, I'd imagine.
Great. I need some information from you in order to get you on the ballot this September. Are you ready to get started?
Yes, I'm ready.
This should only take a few minutes. OK then, let's start with your surname, Walter.
Colchester. Colchester.
And Walter is spelt in the regular fashion?
Yes, Walter.
OK, next I need your date of birth.
I was born the 11th of December, 1979.
The 11th of December 1979 makes you 36 years old at the time of the September elections. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. I'll need your national insurance number.
My national insurance number is WC 285-69833.
WC 285-69833.
That's right.
Great. And the last pieces of information I need from you are your current address and phone number.
I live at 23 Shaftesbury Lane, Plymouth, and you can reach me on 01752 667 835.
Wonderful. Next, I'll give you some information on running for municipal office.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
First of all, you should know that you're one of 15 candidates so far that have registered for the 4 town councillor positions. Since the deadline for registration is in a week, I do not anticipate this number increasing by more than a candidate or 2. Second, please know that there are 3 all-candidate debates, of which you must attend 2 in order to qualify for office.
I have to participate in debates.
Yes, that's right. They are on the 14th and 28th of August, and the final one is held on the 4th of September. They'll be held at the local community hall on Ashford Street. Each one begins at 6 o'clock in the evening.
That sounds fine. Is there anything else I need to know?
Yes, there is. Do you plan on spending money on your campaign? This could be on adverts in newspapers, promotional signage, or other advertising.
Well, I was planning on taking an ad out in the local paper, yes.
Not a problem, but please keep in mind that there is a strict £2,000 limit on campaign spending for town councillors. All expenses must be reported to this office. Overspending will result in disqualification.
I don't think that should be a problem.
Oh, and one more thing, Mr. Colchester. There is a £50 registration fee for each candidate for town councillor. You may pay this fee over the phone by credit card, with a cheque in the post, or in person with cash, credit or debit. How would you like to pay?
I live right by the office, so I'll drop by this afternoon to pay in person.
My assistant will take care of that for you. I think that is all I need from my end. Do you have any questions?
I don't think so. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome, and good luck.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and that is a typical section 1 for the IELTS exam. So we'll go through the answers together. Many of you probably noticed that during the instruction time, I kind of scrolled through the section 2, section 3, section 4 of the listening, looking at the topics. I was looking to see if I can catch an idea of what those sections were about. Did anybody catch those with me? Does anybody remember what section 2, section 3, section 4 topics are going to be? It's a really good strategy to get your brain moving in the right direction so you can get a higher band score. And it's technically not allowed, but there's no hard rule that you can't do that. So it's worth a try. Anybody remember? Section 3 did have a fair few multiple choice questions. That's right, Farhan. Anybody remember the topic of section 2, 3, or 4? What it's going to be about? Don't get lost in details, students. Careful. Section 4 had some fill in the blank. So Farhan, you're paying attention to the question types, which is also okay, but you definitely want to catch that. So the instruction time takes about 2 minutes. Section 2 is some kind of a business meeting. It says who pays the salaries of the workers. So when I look at section 2, I always read the first question, who pays the salaries of the workers, and then I look at the question headings as well. So here I look at sales, downloads, conversion rate. So it's definitely some kind of a business meeting, okay? And then section 3, I looked again at the first question. So how many books has the guest written? So this is going to be some kind of a talk show. It's a dialogue. It's between two people, and it's talking about a book that one of the people wrote. I can guess that just by looking at these first two questions. What description does the guest give his book? Okay. And then section 4, I again looked at the first couple questions. So what phenomenon created the first roads? Though roads were necessary, which of these roads? So I noticed that section 4, the word that pops up is roads. So roads, roads, roads. So I know that section 4 is going to be a lecture about roads. Okay? So business meeting, books, and roads. That's what I'm getting my brain ready for section 2, 3, and 4, the more difficult sections. Because section 1 is the easiest, and I know that I need to get 8, 9, 10 of those questions correct. Okay, so remember that strategy. All right, students, it's a very important strategy. If the examiner says, please don't turn the page, just look at section 1, just say, oh, sorry, no problem, and just stay to section 1. But if they don't say that, take a quick look at the first question of each section, just so you get an idea, okay, during the instruction time. All right? Okay, so number 1. This is a form completion, town councillor application. The applicant is going for town councillor. The name of this applicant is Walter what? What's the answer for question number 1? So Preeti says it's Colchester, and they spell it for you, Colchester. You have the right spelling, Lanthiu, Khyber as well. You can do all capitals or all small letters as well. Yeah, so Colchester, like that. Notice how the table wasn't in order, so they gave you these answers before these answers. That can happen sometimes with tables in part 1. Okay, number 2, what's the address? It's something Shaftesbury Lane. So what is number 2? Oh, by the way, this C has to be big. If this C is small, okay, if you write it like this, it's going to be wrong. It has to be really nice and big, so it's very clear. Okay. Yeah, this is 23. So good job, Mariko. Good job, Macpreet. Gozoda, excellent. Yeah, everybody got that. You don't have to write street. Asma, if you write 23 street, you'll get it wrong. It's lane. It's not street. And they give you that. It's 23 Shaftesbury Lane, the city of Plymouth. What's his date of birth? When is he born? Date of birth? What's the birth date for this candidate? Okay, Mariko, very nice. So Mariko says it's 11 December 1979. Yeah, that's very good. And just says complete the form below. It doesn't say there's a word limit. So that's good. Yeah, the easiest way to do it is 11 Dec 1979. So the D has to be big, USB Creations. Make sure that you write a big D, okay? Even if you're abbreviating, this has to be big. Months are proper nouns, so if you write it with a small d, like that, that'll be wrong, okay? That is a wrong way to write December. Faida Alazwi, if you write D-E-S, that's also wrong, okay? It's December, it's D-E-C. Remember the correct way, all right? Gulzoda Suyunova, that's correct as well, and you can write all capitals. Okay, so that is, sorry, that's for this one here. Okay, what's his phone number? So what is the phone number? Always make sure you're writing answers into the correct spaces. What's the phone number? Yes, Margaret Park, D-E-C is okay. So yeah, you can do all capitals. So you can do it like that. Okay, absolutely. Okay, just let me allow that. Google is filtering all those phone numbers because they don't want you to share your phone number in the chat. So here we go. Looks like most of you have it correct from what I can see. Okay. All right. If your answer is being held, don't worry about it. It's just sensing that it's a phone number. So the correct answer there is 01752. Okay. Make sure you listen to numbers regularly. You will have this type of question. 667 835. Okay, so 01752 667 835. There's a lot of dictation work that they do in part 1 and part 2 especially. So make sure you practice listening to dictation in the exam, okay? All right. The national insurance number, what is that? What's the national insurance number of this person? So you had two of them here. Tina says it's WC 2856. Yep, WC 2856. Jessica Alfama says the last numbers are 9833. Most of you seem to have that. Don't worry about spacing. So if you don't have a space here, that's okay. Use capitals for the letters always in these dictations, so WC. Okay, so far so good. Colchester for the first one, 23 Shaftesbury Lane, 11 December 1979, 01752 667 835, WC 28569833. Those are the answers for the first 5. Then you had a little bit of a break. And then you had to review the remaining 5 questions in the section. And then listen and answer. So, the speaker says that there are 3 debates that this candidate has to participate in. This is the second debate. Pay very careful attention to that. What's the date? When is the second debate? Rahul, yes, you can. So Rahul Hardas is saying, can I write 11th of December 1979? Yes, you can, Rahul. Just make sure there isn't a word limit. So if it says 3 words only, then no. But if there's no word limit like in this one, it's okay. All right, 28 August. Yeah, and the easiest way is 28 Aug. Like that. Okay, so 28 August. Perfect, sure, that works. There's 2 reasons to use abbreviations and capital letters. One, you don't make mistakes. If you write it like this, that's wrong. Okay? If you write it like this, that's wrong. So you can't make spelling mistakes. This has to be capital. So a safe way to do it is writing capitals using abbreviations. It's faster also, so you don't miss information. What's the time? When is it? Yeah, 6 o'clock is okay. It's no more than 2 words, so you can write 6 o'clock or 6 p.m. Okay, they say 6 in the evening, so the safest way is that way, 6 p.m. Okay, 6 p.m. is the safest way to do it. Ashford Street. Okay, good. So that's for 6 and 7. Make sure you realize that this is 2 separate questions. Make sure you put that for box 6 on your answer sheet, and make sure you put that for box 7 on your answer sheet, okay? You do not need the superscript TH for 28th, by the way. Okay, all right. Last few questions. Number 8, what is the campaign spending limit? So every person running for office cannot spend over a certain amount of money on their campaign. What is the campaign spending limit? Yeah, it's 2,000. Please don't write pounds, just 2,000, because you have the symbol for pounds. If you write pounds like that, they'll mark it wrong. It's because you have it here, okay? You have to pay attention. If they give you the symbol, then you cannot double up on it with a word, okay? Amardeep Singh, you can write 2,000. Hi, Eugene. You can write 2,000 like that as words. Just make sure you don't make a spelling mistake. It's easier to use the number than to actually write 2,000, okay? But that would be correct as long as you don't make a spelling mistake. So you could write 2,000. Okay? It takes more time. It's got a higher error rate because you can make more spelling mistakes. So I don't recommend this. I recommend using the number. Okay? All right. And how much is the registration fee? How much does this person have to pay to register to be a town councillor? 50 pounds, that's right. And again, you have the symbol for pounds, so it's just 50. The exam will often give you that because they don't want you wasting time writing the word pound, okay? So you're just listening for that number, but do pay attention. If you do not see this, then you can use the symbol, okay? The symbol's easier than writing the word, all right? So 50 is correct. Okay, last question for section 1. It's question 10. What are 3 ways of paying the registration fee mentioned in the recording? So you have 6 choices, only 3 are correct. You have to get all 3 correct to get number 10 right. The order doesn't matter. You'll have box 10 on your answer sheet when you're transferring your answers, and you have to get them all right. So what are they? You can send a check by post, so B is correct. Yeah, she says you can mail a check. Credit in person. Yeah, you can pay credit card in person. Of course, that makes sense. Especially most Western countries like Britain, Canada, US, they're very much what's called plastic societies, so we can pay with credit card just about everywhere. And then credit card over the phone. That's right. So B, C, and E. And that makes sense, okay? So check over the phone is impossible. I've never... Actually, nowadays you can take a picture of a check and deposit it that way with your phone, but traditionally that's not possible. This works. You never send money through the mail. That's silly. Don't do that. It can get lost or stolen. Credit in person works. Check by post works. This is the only one that may or may not be right, but you didn't hear that one. So these two are not possible. This one's the only one that could really confuse you if you're paying attention, okay? The correct answer is B, C, E. The order doesn't matter as long as you have those three, okay? So it's B, C, E. Check over the phone, Mariko, is not really possible, okay? So number 10 is B, C, E. All right. Now, if you had trouble with that, so if you're like, oh, Adrian, sure, yeah, but you're a native speaker, you caught that, I don't know if I have so much time, use your logic during the time you have to transfer answers to the answer sheet. That's a good time. If you had trouble with it, what can you do? So if you're practicing at home, students, if you're practicing at home and you didn't get a lot correct, so Macpreet got 10 out of 10, Kyber got 10 out of 10, Golzoda, you got 8, that's great. Section 1, you have to get at least 8 correct. If you need a band 6.5 or a band 7, you have to get at least 8 in section 1 or part 1, because part 2, 3, 4 become more and more difficult. So 8, 9, or 10. Rahul, that's good. If I have less, so if I have like 6 or 7 and I'm practicing at home, what should I do? So what can I do if I get a low mark practicing at home in the listening section? Yeah, so Lanthiu says, take a look at the transcript, see what happened, see where you went wrong. You're remembering the lesson from last week. Fantastic, that's great. Okay, good for you. So our books always include the transcripts, and most books do. Let's take a quick look at the transcripts here. Just a moment. Okay, there it is. So in the back of the book, you have, as you can see here, Test 6 transcripts, CD6 Track 1. Here you have all those instructions. Okay, you have the example. Florence is speaking with Walter. Good morning. You've reached the information office for municipal affairs. This is Florence speaking. Good morning, Florence. My name is Walter, and I'd like some information on running for municipal office in the upcoming election. By the way, students, it's really good practice to go through these transcripts with a partner at home. I highly recommend it. It's a very, very good way to have some fun with it and improve. And then you keep going. So focus especially on questions that may have been difficult. So when they spell it out, it says here, okay, let's start with your surname, Walter. And then Walter says Colchester, Colchester. Practice sounding these types of dictations at home, okay? So do it with me again, students. Colchester. Be very, very good at this skill in English, because it's a very valuable life skill, not just for the exam, but these days when you're booking a hotel, traveling the world, registering for university, There are so many situations where you have to spell your name in English, okay? So practice this kind of spelling it out, all right? Okay, so again, you look at the ones that might have been a little bit difficult for you. Let's take a look at question 6, and you'll notice that the transcripts where the answers are coming from, it's bold letters, so it's a little bit thicker. So Walter here, again, follow with me. So Walter here says, I have to participate in debates. Okay. And then Florence says, yes, that's right. They are on the 14th and 28th of August. And the final one is held on the 4th of September. So now I know that, okay, so what IELTS is doing is they said that there's 3 debates. So this is the first debate. And I know that this is the second one because the speaker says the final one is held on the 4th of September. So these 2 are in August. This is the one in the middle. That's the second one. That's how I know that. Now I want to listen to that one more time in the listening to hear how that sounds. Okay? They'll be held at the local community hall on Ashford Street. Each one begins at 6 o'clock in the evening. So I know that it's 6 p.m. Okay? So looking at the transcripts can really, really help you. Okay, now one more and then we'll go to section 2. So let's look at that last question, question 10. Let's look at how that appears in the actual transcript. Does 6 and 7 make sense now? Is everybody clear how 6 and 7 was 28th August, 6 p.m.? Is that one, number 6, 7, clear how that was achieved? Yes? Okay, good. Thanks, Bachu. Thanks, Amrit, for confirming that. Okay, and here's number 10. Okay, so you notice number 10 here. All right, so the sentence before, this is your answer for number 10, says, you may pay this fee over the phone by credit card. Okay, so there's the phone by credit card with a check in the post, so you can mail it, or in person with cash, credit, or debit. So this one was person with credit. Okay, so phone by credit, check in post, and credit in person. They didn't give you the person cash and person debit options. So they didn't give you these 2 options, so that's why this was a little bit tricky. Okay, that was number 10. All right, a little bit more challenging. So now you see where that answer actually came from. Hopefully that's clear. So again, students, remember, use the transcripts. The transcripts are there to help you. If you make mistakes, please do not just jump from one exam to the other. Check why you made that mistake. Check where the answer was. Make a note of it. Listen again and practice. Super important. Okay, super important. Sam Charles, great. So Sam Charles says that was super easy. Sam, it's supposed to be. It's part 1. Okay, so section 1 is supposed to be easy, especially if you're band 6.5 or 7. You should get 9 or 10 correct from 10. All right, let's go to section 2. So section 2 is the business meeting. So we're going to hop back to, I believe it's about page 78, roughly. Yep, that was a good guess on my part. So everybody get your pencils, paper, pen ready. And then we're going to do section 2 together. All right. Again, students, please don't write your answer into the chat. Give everybody a chance. Don't confuse students with wrong answers. Okay, so get your pencil, paper, document ready. Here we go. Again, hopping back to our website. These are original IELTS exams. They're exactly as difficult as the real ones, so be ready for it. If it's quiet for you, use a headset, turn up the volume, okay? Everybody ready? 3, 2, and 1.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a recording of 3 people discussing strategy for an upcoming meeting with investors. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Thank you both for coming in for this preparatory meeting. As you know, we have an extremely important meeting with our investors next week. While I'm more than confident in the work we have done over the past year, we must be prepared to justify our progress to our investors. After all, they are the ones who pay our salaries. First, I want to review the positive outcomes we've achieved over the past year. This will make up the bulk of our presentation. Amy, would you like to give us a rundown on this front?
Sure. We've achieved many positive outcomes over the past year, and furthermore, we've achieved more in the past 4 months than in the previous 8 months. So we're certainly showing significant progress. First, and most important, sales of our app are up 50% from last year, totaling 586,000 units in the past 12 months, up from 390,000 units in the previous year. This is great progress. Second, we're achieving a higher purchase rate. While our sales are up 50%, the number of total downloads has remained relatively constant. This means our conversion rate has increased 50% as well. This clearly demonstrates that our efforts in this area have been fruitful. By targeting the conversion rate instead of the raw download rate, we have raised our standing and search result priority within the application stores. This will eventually lead to a higher download rate and even more sales. The upward trajectory here is very clear. We have also decreased the complaint rate from 2.5% to 1.5%. While our goal is to get this rate as close to 0 as possible, this decrease represents a positive outcome and shows that our efforts to increase customer satisfaction have been successful.
Yes, but if I may interrupt, I actually have to disagree on one point. I don't believe it should be a goal to get the complaints rate down to 0. While we certainly don't want a high complaint rate, the resources spent on getting the complaint rate down are better spent on increasing downloads and increasing the conversion rate. I think this is an important point to be made to the investors. While we certainly value the quality of our product, we are much more focused on maximising the value of the investor's investment. I think such a tack will go over well with the investors.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
That's a great point. We really want to emphasize that we are doing everything we can to optimize and maximize the money and resources we've been supplied with. Speaking of which, are we all agreed that we will be asking for 20% increase in operating budget?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. And how are you going to justify such an increase?
Well, certainly by pointing to the statistical outcomes you previously referenced, but also by our need to expand. We need to increase our catalogue of apps, and to do this, we will need to hire at least 2 additional developers. In addition to this, I think we are now at the point in our business where hiring a market analyst would be justified. Such a person could be charged with finding niches to exploit within the market. Right now, our operations in this regard are rudimentary at best, and an expert in the field could help increase our sales volume significantly. Such an expert salary might take up 5% of our operating budget, but could lead to a 10% increase in sales or more. The 5% difference would result in a net income increase of almost £100,000.
I agree. Hiring a market analyst is long overdue. One more justification for a budget increase is an across-the-board pay rise, if only at the rate of inflation. 2%, say. This would go a long way to increasing worker morale and output quality. In addition to this,
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and always use that half minute to check your answers. As many of you probably realize, this is a bit more challenging than section 1. And that's why I said make sure to do a really good job in section 1, because the next sections do get more difficult. All right, let's go through the answers together. So section 2, question 11, who pays the salaries of the workers in the recording? Lanthiu says it is the investors that pay the salaries. That makes sense. Absolutely. Investors is the correct answer. And it is plural. So make sure that you use the plural, investors. Kyber, that works as well. Okay. Sana, in the future, if you can't hear it well, use a headset and turn up the volume. Okay. Because I'm max on my end. So investors, you have 2 different kinds of British accents here, and you also have a New Zealand accent in this case. So that makes it more challenging. Okay, so investors. Okay, and then we have a table. In the table, they're talking about their sales. So sales in the company this year, and performance this year compared to performance in the company last year. So the sales, the change was 50% from last year. How many units did they sell this year? Thank you, Sakraj Singh. So how many units? Sona, if you're using headphones, try to turn up the volume if you can, okay? Farhan says 586,000. Yeah, it was 300 and something the year before and 586,000. Yeah, that's right. Often a comma will follow the first 3 digits there, Farhan. But you don't have to have that. Okay. Good. So downloads, they don't give it. It's the same this year as last year. Conversion, purchase rate. Current year, they don't tell you how many conversions or what's the purchase rate, but they do tell you the change. So for number 13, what is the change of conversions or purchase rate? For those of you who are working in the tech industry on mobile apps or software, this is a great listening because it's a typical meeting in English about an app. Okay, it's 50%. So just like this one, it was up 50%. Yeah, 50 is correct. So those of you who got 50, that's great. Blandina, Jerry, good to see you commenting. And if you haven't sent me an email, you're a new member, send me an email so I can hook you up with some goodies, okay, some perks. Members get access to the 6 exams, okay? Students, you don't need the percent because they give it to you, so just the number 50. Okay, complaint rate. 1.5% this year. What's the change compared to last year for the complaint rate? Amrit, last year was 2.5%. This year it's 1.5%. So what's the change? What is the actual change? If it was 2.5 last year, and it's 1.5 this year, what's the change? Yeah, so all of you who are putting in the number 1, I'm not sure why Google's blocking that, but yeah, it's 1. The change is 1, okay? Why? Because it was 2.5% last year. This year it's 1.5. Simple math, it's 1%. Okay. Number 15. What points do the investors disagree on? It's not actually investors, but it's the people who are arguing. So what points do they disagree on? Is it A, ways to increase conversions rates, B, how to convince investors to increase funding, C, getting the complaint rate as low as possible? Yeah, it's C. Yeah, so one of them says we should try to get the complaint rate low. The other one says that's not so important. We should focus on something else. What should they focus on? That's the answer for number 16. What is of primary importance according to the employees? So this one's C. This one is maximizing the value of investors, increasing the funding. Yeah, it's A, maximizing. Makes sense, of course. Every company is worried about ROI, return on investment, ROI. So A is the correct answer there. Okay, good. All right, let's keep going. So the employees are requesting a 20% something in funding from the investors. What are they requesting? What is the answer? Ashidi Roland, Lanthiu, and Amrit all agree with Khyber and Farhan and Jessica that here the word is increase. Yeah, they're asking for a 20% increase in funding. This will allow the company to hire 2 additional what? So who can they hire? It's increase, 20% increase in funding. Funding is budget. Gulzoda, careful. Developers, that's right. Okay, make sure to have that S because it's 2 additional. It's 2, right? So 2 plural S. All right, great. Good job, students. A lot of you are doing fantastic. Who will allow the company to broaden their catalog of apps. They would also like to hire a what? For number 19, that was a little bit more challenging. It was 2 words. That's right, Amrit. Very good. It's a market analyst. That's right, Khyber. Market analyst. It's not increasing, Yvonne, because that's the wrong word form. 20% increase in funding. It's the simple noun here, okay? Or the base verb. You don't use increasing in funding, okay? It's wrong word form, Yvonne, with the ing. Okay, catalog of apps. They would also like to hire a market analyst. That's right, market. Doesn't have to be capital. Analyst. Okay, so market analyst, 2 words. All right. Who would be in charge of finding new areas for development. Finally, the team wants a pay raise pegged to the rate of. Peg means according to. Okay, that's an expression. Number 20. Abidjan, Barpiev, Preeti, and Khyber, and Kamal all say it is the rate of inflation. And it is the rate of inflation. Very good. Okay, inflation. Madbandidi, very good. Yeah, inflation. Okay, good. So good job, students. I think a lot of you did a great job with that, filling in the summary completion. If you didn't get some of these answers, what should you do? So if you missed some of these, if you're like, oh, that was really hard, I know some students find this this table a little bit difficult here, or this form. What should you do other than practice, Khyber? What should you do? That's right, Tina. Go to the transcripts. Look at the transcripts. See what happened. And then listen to the audio again. Okay. So here we go. Let's have a quick peek at the transcripts. Hopefully it'll make more sense. Okay. So here you can see CD6 track 2. That means it's section 2 coming up. Okay. So here you have your answers, okay? First and most important, sales of our app are up 50% from last year, totaling 586,000 units. So that was the answer for number 12. 586,000 units in the past 12 months. That means past 12 months, current year. Okay? Up from 390,000 units in the previous year. So that's the sentence that gave you that one. Okay? Another tricky one was that last one, which was a little bit of math. Notice here. We have also decreased the complaint rate from 2.5% to 1.5%. Little bit of math. 2.5 minus 1.5 equals 1. Okay, simple math. It's an inferred answer. Pay really careful attention to those ones. Okay. All right. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what you are doing. Let me see. The last one here. I'm looking for number. Yeah, so here we go. The last one. One more justification for a budget increase is an across-the-board pay raise, if only at the rate of inflation. So here you see rate of inflation, which is the answer for that last one, number 20. All right, students, what did you get? So 6 out of 10, Amrit? It's not bad. For section 2, you want to be somewhere around the 7-8 mark at least. Farhan, 19 out of 20, that's fantastic. If you can get 19 out of 20 for section 1 and 2, you should be able to get at least 7.58 overall, okay? You want to get more. Pre-T 17 combined for section 1, 2 is not bad. Kamal, Nupain, 16 out of 20, that's okay. Yeah, you want to get 15 to 16 at least out of 20 for these sections. Students, again, this recording and this exam, it's coming out of our website. This is our academic IELTS web portal here with this blue background. You can click that big red button to join it. Get the 6 full practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons. And today, this week, we have a promotion going on in these live classes. You can use that blue button and enter the code LIVE20, LIVE20 for a 20% discount. If you're looking for the general version of the IELTS for support, go to this website here, the green background, gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button to join there. Save these documents and pieces of paper. We will do listening section 3 and 4 from this exam next week. Okay, keep up the good work. If you have our books, make sure to use those transcripts to help you train your active listening skills. Okay, again, aehelp.com for academic, gieltshelp.com for general. Thank you so much for your hard work. I know it's challenging to be tested and listen for specific information in another language. I too have learned other languages, for example, Japanese. So keep it up. Don't give up. Your brain is programmed to learn, and you are all brilliant, beautiful minds. Bye for now. Have a great rest of your day. Have sweet dreams. If it's late in your country, much love from Budapest.